And you,
Hi, everyone. Michelle here, and I have a special guest, Angela. You've seen her on my channel before, I think probably two times.
can't remember. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think so. So today, because Angela has a lot more experience in this, I've been studying it probably about 10 years, but we're going to talk about energy. We're going to talk about auras. We're going to talk about things that hold us back and how we can let go and have abundance in our life. So it's going to be several different things going on here today.
Yeah, we're just going to fuse them all together. It's all the
Exactly.
same subject anyway.
Yep. So, we started working together probably about 4.5 years ago, and our relationship has helped each other in many different ways. So here we are today, and we're going to be able to talk about some things that we both learned, and how we can release a lot of belief systems because we were born and raised and we keep hearing this stuff. We hear it from our family, from outside, from TV, from whatever. And before you know it, you don't realize it, but you become this person that's based on a bunch of belief systems. So as one goes through a healing process, yes, you might need to clean up your diet, have supplements, get some nutrition, but there's other things that we need to let go of and understand a little bit better about ourselves because we're humans, but we're really spiritual beings and we're here having this human experience. So we learn to go back and become the spiritual being through our humanness and and the many things that we go through. It's not always fun.
Yeah. So even just that first thing you said is I've had people say to me, well, I'm not really spiritual. I'm like, well, if you didn't have a spirit, you wouldn't be talking to me or anyone because you wouldn't have a body. So that's the first thing right there. So
Yep.
the essence of us, the true essence of who we are, is this beautiful, everlasting, infinite being. Lester Levinson says it back best. He's a modern American master who has left the planet, I think, right at the end of the 80s, 1980s. But he said, "You are an infinite being pretending to be limited." To me, that just encompasses the whole thing. So,
And for those of you who have not heard of him, you can look up the Sedona method, and it's a letting go technique that he came up with in a process to let go. And Angela studied with him and his people for how many? Several
actually, I
decades,
studied
couple
with
decades.
the other side. Yeah, about a
Yeah,
decade
yeah.
specifically. But then um, the person that I studied with the most, he passed on, and when he passed, um, sometimes organizations go down a funny path. And I didn't like what I was seeing, although the methods that I learned were very profound. So I have steeped myself in them daily for a decade,
Mhm.
along with other stuff that I've done. And I've come up with my own version um, of, of, of a blend of things, of the best creme de la creme things where I can kind of smush them together and people can have very fast results. Because right now, the way that what you're seeing in the world, okay, there's a lot of unsafe feelings, a lot of insecurities, a lot of worry about, will I survive? How will I survive? That is the root of the nine-centered being, which is from human design. But the very root is the thing that says, how do I stay safe? How can I let go and be free? And that's why I work with what I call practicing freedom. And it's just a beautiful way that gives you the knowledge. You have a process that's very simple, just step by step. It's not very many steps at all this way. That you have your own reliable source and resource of connecting inside so that you can get your own answers.
Mhm.
Because the way of the world we've been taught, like Michelle, you just said, we were taught things. There's traditions, there's culture, we've been brainwashed in a million different ways. And when we do a program like this with Michelle, you're actually dehypnotizing yourself, especially when you're eating some of the foods the same over and over. The mind likes a lot of different foods and things like that. So even Lester would say, eat stuff you don't like, because your mind is deciding what's good or bad, and there really isn't, right?
Right, right. There's nothing that's good or bad, only what we think it to be is good or bad. And when you started the program, because I actually learned a lot of this through Dr. David R. Hawkins, which I know, worked with Lester and probably stole
Larry, yeah.
stole
Yes.
his work. And anyway, so but it's the same thing. And so I learned a lot of them. By the time we met each other, we were, speaking the same language. So I was able to say,
Yeah.
you're going to do the program. And even to this day, I talk to people and say, just do it, but don't be attached to it. Don't, see black and white. Just kind of do it, because your humanness still has these things that have to be worked through. So you want to do it in the human aspect, but over time, you'll be able to let go of a lot of these belief systems. And then you're able to have a little bit of I would say, normal life. I don't know what's normal,
Right.
but for instance, Dr. David R. Hawkins drank soda and he was like 85 years old, teaching spirituality. Well, the soda didn't affect him because that belief system wasn't there for him.
Right. Right.
But for us, until we can get to that level, those belief systems are there. So we kind of work with them, but don't create more issues. I don't know if I'm explaining
Yeah.
that.
Beautifully. Absolutely beautiful. So what ends up happening is that, and this is if we want to talk about energy and we want to talk about how to protect ourselves and in this world of electromagnetic fields affecting our electromagnetic field because it's turned to the wrong, the towers are turned to a very specific frequency. If the frequency were slightly shifted a little bit differently, we would be flourishing, people would be joyous, there would be such happiness. But that's not how it is. So when people aren't affected anymore by food or even have to breathe, I do not recommend not eating, and I do not recommend eating soda, drinking soda, and I don't recommend any of these things. Okay, I just want to be really clear. I do not recommend not breathing. But people who have gotten to a certain level, have dropped the idea that they are a body or a mind or an ego. There's no attachment. So people always say to me, well, letting go, I let go. The thing is, letting go isn't so easy because our brain, our mind wants us to hold on to everything, including the fear and the worries and the doubt. By eating this program, eating this way, you actually unhook a lot of the attachments because you're just going to just do it. This body in this realm actually has a lot of answers for you, right? It's for all of us. But we typically don't listen. Listening, and then the body, if it's properly nutritionized or what have you, it can start purifying and healing and repairing. And that process alone will let things go automatically because we are all that are doing this. We're all kind of retracing old stuff. So I call it the fast forward rewind. So you're kind of moving forward, doing what you're supposed to, but then you're also retracing stuff and stuff's detoxing. But by doing that, you're freeing up the emotions and all like the chemicals, biochemistry, the tetras, the minerals, that changes. So you'll notice that you feel different. But like you said, Michelle, it's not just about that. There are things that we can do to release and let go of the patterns. And the patterns are hard to let go on your own, unless you
Mm-hmm.
method really. It's not
Mm-hmm.
so easy. You have to be very aware. And I try to make it as easy as possible
Mm-hmm.
for people.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so what do you have to say? I'm taking up a lot of
A
airspace.
lot and nothing.
A lot of nothing at the same time, right?
Right, right. And so when we focus to whatever we focus on becomes our reality. So that's why in one of my videos, I said I don't really focus on the Wi-Fi and stuff because I have to live with it. For me, I have to live with it. It's my job requires me to be in front of the computer, my mobile device, things like that. So instead of thinking about how it's not good for me, I just say my body's integrating with this because it's part of every day. So it's just naturally integrating. So that's my belief system. So I don't have a problem with it because my belief is I'm going to live in harmony with it. So
Mhm.
I try not to go down, and it's easy to go down the rabbit hole. I think anybody who goes on this journey, you will have moments more so in the beginning of going down the rabbit hole. And if we go down the rabbit hole and think about all these, you know, evil beings that are running the planet, it could be quite depressing.
Mhm.
So instead of focusing on that, I just focus on how can I live in this world as a human, but to remind myself and have great relationships where others can help remind me that I'm a spiritual being and I'm just having an experience, and that it's really the ego that's attached to fear and black and white and wanting to control. So when I'm in that realm, then I know that I'm living more by my ego and my humanness than I am my spiritual.
So that is perfect for someone who does not feel the effects of the EMFs. I,
Mm-hmm.
on the other hand, am the exact
Yeah.
opposite. And I have worked many, many years to shift this. Um, if someone is feeling the effects, I had to move from my home. I've had to make drastic changes.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and some people do not do well. Some people don't make it because of that. But let me say this about that statement. This maybe in this may not be something that you believe in, but I just want to put it out there so
Mm-hmm.
that you have another choice to another option to consider or to let settle through you. It's the matter of the decisions. It's the matter of our choice, the power of choice. If I said to you that you actually predetermined when and how your life, oh, everything about your life, how many
Mm-hmm.
hairs are on your head, how many freckles you have, what your skin looks like, how you age, how your people that you're with. If I were to tell you this, you might say, well, that's impossible because then I don't have any power of choice. I don't have any, I don't have I'm just at the mercy of this thing. You could look at it that way, and we choose when and how we die. Imagine that that is the case. Just try it on for a moment. If that's true, how much do you have to worry about?
Right.
If
Yeah.
that's true, you can be like, oh my God, because somebody could be dying from some terrible thing, but go outside, bump the thing and fall over a balcony, boom. Or a
Mhm.
Ferris wheel could just come over, right? So if you can say, if this is predetermined, if I chose this, or if this is what I signed up for,
Mhm.
like this time frame that we're living in, we're not here the first time every 416 years. We come back. And again, you may totally disagree, and I totally get it. I used to never believe any of this because I had no proof for myself. But then I had a friend of mine whose son committed suicide. And then he came to me for 3 months and showed me this stuff in a way that I didn't know what he was doing. And then it became totally understood at a knowing level. He really wanted me to explain it to his mom, who still doesn't believe it, which is fine. But the way he explained it to me, she recognized him for his MO, the way he discussed things, the way he looked at things, the way he took things apart. So this isn't our first time. I'm just going to presuppose that you are just going with it for right now. This isn't the first time we've been here. We have a chance to make it different in a new way you're not going to be able to reduce your karma. You can't work your karma through, but your karma will work through you, whatever you're going to do. So whatever your outcome is in life and anything, if you can relax into yourself a little more, that's going to actually raise your frequency anyway, because you're not so hooked into the fear, the doubt, the worry, the concern, the overwhelm. You can pull back from that. That's a kind of way of letting go. So just think, well, if everything's already predetermined, and you might have to experiment with this yourself and see how you feel with this, that might actually help some things kind of crack off. I don't have so much to worry about. Even this day, I can kind of rest into the trusting that universe or God or, the divine the divine she, however you look at that will take you, and your body knows the way. That's part of why this program is so amazing, because it's giving your body a lot of what it requires to make decisions and knowing where to go and how to navigate. That brings us to the point of right timing. I'm in the right time, in the right place. That's another way of raising your frequency, by the way.
Yes. My
Hi,
dog
little
is being needy.
Like, I want to be in the spotlight with my mama.
Right. She probably wants to go outside because she's bored, but this will keep her happy until I let her out.
She's so cute. So yeah, right timing, right place. And that isn't something you can just say and feel like, oh, you might say that doesn't work for me. It is a practice. It's practicing freedom. We are so used to practicing the other thing. We're practicing fear, practicing worry, practicing whatever. We're not practicing being courageous or in that higher frequency. That's a whole different thing.
And that's a good point, practicing. Like I think of Dr. Joe Dispenza, where he talks about, our personality, our emotional being becomes our personality, and then we're just addicted to it. So you have to literally become a completely different person. In the beginning, 10 years ago, I would go to work and I had sticky notes all for my computer and my mirror, all positive things, because I was trying to retrain my brain and my thought process. And I literally had to do that because I was so used to having certain thoughts that I didn't realize until I started examining them. People who have depression and anxiety, if they sat down and actually wrote down all the things they thought about all day, they would see what the source of their anxiety and depression was, which is a lot of it's thoughts. I'm not saying that people don't have a chemical imbalance, but if you spend the day writing everything down and look at it, it's very easy to see how our personality is coming about because we're entertaining certain thoughts. So you have to literally change how you think, how you speak, and what you allow into your life.
Yeah. So thoughts are the only problem, just so you know. The only problem is thoughts.
Right.
And one of the things that we're gonna talk about at the end of this here is inner wealth tools, which are like a bundle. To me, it's like certain things that we can do to start making the changes, right? That the world as we know it is changing dramatically. It's true. We're going to see it changing, crumbling. Things are falling apart. All of this stuff, though, truly is here to assist you to recognize who you really are. And it's the spirit in this body thing. All those systems are falling apart because they can't be upheld anymore. Their time is coming and going. About every 416 years or so, we move into a new frequency Right now, the tuning fork frequency is the cross of planning. It's been here 416 years. So 2027 is the cross of the sleeping phoenix, which it completely nobody knows how it's going to really be. What they can discuss in a way that we know how so far is that we're really going to be embodying living more as spirit. We're going to have bodies, but this time between now and 2027 and then going forward is crucial and essential in learning how to be in yourself, not by letting everything distract you. And there are things that are scary. They're already amping up the fear of this, the fear of that. But the thing is, that's your outer world. Inner wealth is not just about money. It's about the riches within you. You have everything. The treasure is right here. But it is a practice to turn inward. We're so used to saying, look at that, look at this, smell this, taste that, do that, blah, blah, blah. That's the ego hooked to the body. So it distracts you. This is our main block. But when
and we want to blame the external, because if we blame the external, then we don't have to look at ourselves. And so this is what happens. People are a lot of relationships have been going through a lot of turmoil the last, I don't know how many years, probably I would say a few years. Yeah. And so you hear of a lot of breakups and stuff because we need to work on ourselves. We all need to work on ourselves. And if you can't do it within, then it'll end so that you can without, or both. Maybe they can't do it together, but on their own they can, or maybe the pain from the breakup will propel them to work on themselves. Either way, as we all are being called to look at our own stuff. And
yeah.
But I mean, that's really what it is, and taking responsibility, like I had to realize, I realized it 10 years ago, and I realized it recently that I am the source of the things that were not working in my life, because I allowed, or I made decisions, or I accepted, I wasn't bold, I didn't have boundaries, whatever it is, all these different things are what led me to where I was. So then how can I become a creator of my life? Well, first take responsibility. For me, yeah, the number one thing. Like as soon as we take responsibility, that completely opens up the door. And then all of a sudden things do look brighter. It's like opening up your window and the sun coming in. It really is I believe the number one thing that people have to do is first take responsibility. And then the next thing is to go, okay, where can I go and who can I seek out that's going to help guide me on that path? So that's where, the work with like we did together over the summer helped me, because I knew that I needed that guidance, because I was shifting. And part of that shift was having somebody work with me to help me through those shifts.
What happens with responsibility? It's the same thing when you choose to do this program. I don't know if you noticed or not, but when you made the decision to do it, suddenly things started coming your way, serendipitous things. Even if you didn't feel well, I was really pretty much on my deathbed. But whatever, I still felt that I was being held. I had this sense of things were coming to me that I didn't know I had available to me. And that responsibility taking is actually a deep commitment and investment in yourself. It doesn't, investment doesn't mean spending money. It can, but you're invested in making wise decisions, impeccable decisions consistently. And that takes courageousness to continue making the commitment. So it kind of all blends together. So yeah, and for me, I want people, my mission is for others to know how to handle themselves, to know how to regulate their emotions, to regulate their breathing, to recognize, hey, I'm in charge, not my mind, not that thing that tells me secretly in the background, you're not worthy, you don't deserve it, you're not going to ever get it like someone else. Other people can get it, but you can't, and comparing yourself with others. That is your mind really kind of luring you in to make you believe you're not limited. Remember, you are an infinite being pretended to be limited. You're infinite. But when you see that for yourself, then you're like, wow, what is this? I'm going to say, welcome home. This is you. And that's really how you can become a powerful force for positive change in all areas of your life, right?
Yes, yes. When I first experienced that, gosh, I want to say 5, 6 years ago, I had an out of body experience, which you're aware of. And it was weird to be like, I was not the body anymore. I was completely detached from the body and floating in this love and peace. And for the first time in my experience, I felt oneness and awe. And I thought, gosh, if this is what it's like to be dead, like, why are we so afraid of death? Came back in the body, it was a really profound experience. And I know you've had them, but just the whole vibration shifting from the density into the next thing and feeling it and hearing this weird noise and this popping out. It was just so profound. But when I came back, I was like, wow, like, why are people afraid of dying? Probably because they don't have that experience of the unknown and the afterlife. But you help people get to that place of feeling oneness without them having to, for me, it was a personal experience that I was gifted to have on my own, but you are able to get people to that experience that I had.
So yeah, I don't necessarily call them out of body experiences, but they
No,
are
it's not an out of body, but the
yeah,
actual
the
feeling
oneness.
of oneness, because
Yeah.
there's a
And-
difference of leaving the body.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
that oneness, you're able to
See every
shift people through that to disconnect from thinking about the body and being in that floatiness, which is really amazing.
Yeah, and the thing is we practice moving into that openness, but in a way that is very easy for you to do on your own. There's nobody, you don't get forced, go into oneness. No, you literally will kind of start experiencing it as your resistance releases, because the mind's going to hold on really tight to that. Nope, that mind really likes things to stay the same because we've given the power to our mind / ego. Okay. That is a program that wants to be in the top position. The thing is, the mind makes a wonderful servant, and yet it is a terrible master. You really are the master, you're the boss, but you can't be the boss if you're being led around by the ring in your nose with emotions, which are mental, mind. That doesn't mean you're mental. I'm not saying those kind of words, but it is a mental construct. And so by starting to chip away in a gentle way, and you can do it on your own. That's why I created this little thing over here. Um, um, but to chip away at the programming so that you can move into really experiencing yourself as a whole being, not as just someone with a lot of thoughts and feelings. So can I explain the thing about the way the thoughts really go? This is a very simplified way. You've heard of the iCloud. That's something over there that you put your stuff in. Well, I don't put my stuff in any iCloud, but we all, because I don't like it. Oh, and I did want to mention about technology. I'll go back to that if you can remind me, the Wi-Fi stuff. But what's really important to realize is we have like a cloud all around us. And when you go to the movie theater, you see a picture on a canvas. The canvas always stays there, whether the movie is running or not, right? And that's the substratum. So what we have around us with this cloud, the I cloud, it's your cloud. is a picture inside that's telling you what is and isn't happening, what's good or bad. But the thing is, this is not the truth. This is the movie. Some people call it the dream. But when you start moving into oneness, you pierce through the clouds or come through the clouds and you say, oh, wow, I'm not that. I'm really all of this expansive vastness. So that's what it means to, how do you remember who you are? You do it through the experience of going beyond the movie, the dream, the clouds. But this is a very strong thing. It's very powerful. If you've ever been to like a planetarium where you go to the movie, you sit up and you see the movie all around you, people are moving all together. That's what we're living here. So like you said earlier, the way in relationships, how you work on yourself, your external world is literally a reflection of your mind, of everything in your mind. And we collectively do the same thing. So when we start moving out of the mind and into the belly, into the gut, into the physical, what happens is you're really embodying your spirit into the body so it can work harmoniously. Otherwise, our spirit's like up here hanging out, like one of those, those little things at the car, it's kind of like that. We're just getting the spirit fully in us. And then we can hear, then we can see, then we know the truth for ourselves. I can't tell you the truth. No one can tell you the truth. Michelle, we can only point and direct or guide. We can say, here, check this out. And that's how you start up leveling your own frequency. When we're in the fear and the worry and the anger and the doubt and the pride and apathy and grief, when we're succumbed by these feelings and emotions, we are not living to our higher, I don't like the word potential, but let's use it, your highest potential. And therefore the EMFs and stuff like that are going to actually affect you more. So
And everything does, because we're
everything.
so in the body, and this is why people who meditate, like they were onto something, when we're able to just let go from the everyday stuff of, our phones and work and the news and, being, somebody flipping you off on the road, like you're sucking up all of your time and energy, you're not being a spiritual being because you're caught up in all of this stuff. So then your emotions are not going to be regulated because it's in that emotional world where the ego is responding to everything all day. When we disconnect from that and we're reminded of who we really are, then we can take a moment and when something comes up, go, I don't have to respond to that right now.
Absolutely.
I could take a minute. I can get up from my desk. I don't have to react anymore. And that for me has been a huge thing, the past few months, which is helping me be a better manager, is just stopping for a moment and saying, I'm not going to respond to that email right now. I'm
Perfect.
just going to wait, and I do that now. I don't have to be reactionary about everything because I'm not living by that anymore. Yeah, it's really neat.
Well, you really have gotten clear about your inner authority, like with the human design piece. You are also one who is not supposed to react quickly. Some people are splenic, so they are actually meant to do that. And it's so funny because the splenic people who are meant to react, they second guess themselves, so they miss the point. And usually people who have the emotional solar plexus, they react quicker when they're supposed to actually wait. But even so, everyone can be a witness and sit back into themselves and watch instead of being involved in the thing, the reaction. That's still good for humans, it's good for the body, it's good for your soul, because you're not saying, oh, I'm making this real. The more real we make it, the more we fuel our mind. And when I say mind, I'm really meaning ego or even the brain. The brain is literally a DVD player, basically, DVR player, whatever you want to call it.
Sometimes it's fast forward.
Yeah. Well, it's actually looping us constantly.
Rewind.
Looping. So what it does, it's a recording device. So ever since you were even in your mama, everything's been recorded. So you're just spitting back out stuff and it's being projected into the world around you like, oh, that's so true. And this is really non-duality. So when you can start sitting back and saying, this is taking responsibility. I'm going to have the courage to make a new decision, stop being pulled into things. I have to catch myself. I'm going to commit to that. Notice how we're pulling all those words together, right? I'm just going to sit there and sit back and watch and see what happens. Even if you have intense feelings, you can learn how to let feelings move through you, which is actually what they're meant to do. But we tend to hate the way things feel uncomfortable, and we turn away, and therefore we stuff that. That needs to be learned how, we need to learn how to deal with it in a way that's gentle, kind, kindness towards ourselves, and not stuffing that stuff down, because every feeling wants to leave, but we're like, nope, I don't want to feel it. So I'm going to escape. I'm going to read or go play. And again, you can do whatever you need in your life. But if you really want to shift, if you really want to switch from old patterns into something higher and new, along with the program, this eating, the nutritional balancing and the development program, and I highly recommend this one here, because I actually did quite a few interviews with people before Michelle contacted me, and I didn't remember that. I was so sick, I didn't remember that I even
made an appointment.
And she hung in there with my complete confusion, and I didn't even barely know who I was. But that was the tell-all for me that she was right. So I send everybody that I know to Michelle, because she's actually professional. She's smart. She's done it. So she has direct experience. Some of the other people I spoke with were lovely people. They had their own experience, but it wasn't the same. I felt like you knew what you were doing. Let's put it that way. And you didn't make me feel like I was toxic and disgusting and that it would take me forever. Like I didn't feel any of those things. I felt really, I felt like I was in good hands.
Well, thank you. Well, I feel like, for me, because I went through that spiritual shift before I started doing this, I think it helped me to be a better leader, coach, whatever, in doing this, because I understood the spiritual aspect of what was going on. And I also believe that people who come to me are coming to me because of an agreement in a prior life. So it's easy for me when you hear my voice or I hear your voice to know that this is the time for this to happen. So that I think was very obvious within our phone call for both of us.
Yeah. And that is so true. We all have a particular tone, and then we have the acoustics. So when you hear someone that grabs your attention, you're probably on their fractal line. Again, this is some human design. I'm just throwing this in, but none of this stuff is an accident. So if someone hears me and they're like, then keep going. Don't listen to me. And if somebody hears it and is like, maybe this is the help I'm looking for. Maybe this is that connection that I would like to maybe help me learn better. Michelle or I, she and I had that. It happened right away, and she could hear it even through my complete confusion. I was totally, the one thing I remember is I couldn't remember anything. But again, it kind of saved my life. Right?
Yeah. And that's part of our journey too, is I realized that because, and you'd know this from my human design, is that I'm here to experience, learn, and teach. Like that's why I'm here. So in order to do that, I have to go through a lot of experiences to get where I am today. So I can talk to just about anybody. If I was to sit down and do like a tell-all book, we'd be here forever. I literally have
Same here.
lived like 6 lifetimes in one lifetime, which could be, why I'm
Yes.
tired. But, the thing is, I understand that now. When we're going through things and you might be younger, you just haven't had that shift of awareness, is that we sometimes are thinking this is where the victim mentality is. And we all go through that, is like, why me? Why am I feeling this? Why am I going through this? And for me, there's always been a reason for why I've gone through what I've gone through. So I love, accept, and thank all of my experiences, all my relationships, and everything that brought me where I am today, because this is exactly where I'm supposed to be. So dwelling on the past makes no sense. Yeah, I can just glance for a moment and go, oh, okay, well, I got to remember that. I don't want to do that again, but I don't want to sit in it and look at it as a bad thing.
Yeah. But we can also actually clear the past.
Mhm.
It takes a little fortitude, but once you clear the past, things just start dropping away. And again, there's so many levels to our eating like this, and even the work that I do, the practicing freedom. There really aren't any levels because this is the movie. However, in the movie, we have levels. So until we don't get affected by drinking soda or whatever,
Right. That's
um,
a very hard attainment in this lifetime. Very,
it
very small amount of people attain that. So if somebody says they're enlightened, they're not enlightened, because an enlightened person wouldn't say they're enlightened.
they would never say that. They'd be like, they don't announce stuff like that. It's not an announcement.
No.
Um, So, oh, the technology. So for me, I can't be around Wi-Fi or cell phones or any of that stuff. Okay, so that's that other conversation we had a little while ago. I'm happy to. I'll give you the information so you can stick it in below. It's I work with electrahealth.com. I'll make sure you have it. It's Electra, one word, health, electrahealth.com. Um, the young man, Sean Cranish, he was in IT and he got very, very sick from being in IT. He's also what I call a master electrician. He's been doing electricity since he was like, I don't know, a young kid, maybe 11 or something, because either his father or his uncle or somebody was really close to, I can't remember, was a master electrician. And what he does is he takes, like, I get these like extension cords. If you plug an extension cord in, you think there's just like a cord, like a cord. Let's pretend this is a cord. But what happens is the dirty electricity is really huge around this cord everywhere. I was so sensitive, I actually bought a whole system called the Stetzerizer system. Um, and I'm able to put filters that are like these blocks that you stick into the plugs, and it smooths out dirty electricity. So in this house that we rent right now, the dirty electricity was so profound, it was keeping me sick and I didn't know it. So I ended up putting in 10 different filters, smoothed everything out. So everything he does is to make less electromagnetic fields. Even if you're close to a cell tower, you can use wired systems, and he has everything you need, whether you need like to hardwire. I got radiation meters. I got everything from this young man. And also we want to ask for Seth if you do email or whatever. I will make sure that you'll get. I'll write a little thing and give that to you, and tell them that I sent you as well. Just I like to send people there. But what it does, it completely makes, you don't even have to have Wi-Fi, or if you do want Wi-Fi, they've created a router or a modem system that is 99.9% less Wi-Fi and still works.
Oh, wow.
So you can, he modifies, and he doesn't buy anything from China anymore. He only buys US, which makes things a little more expensive, but it is worth every penny. Like even like a electrical strip, his does not emit any crazy energy. I have two different power surge protectors. It has all been modified And he has a lab basically in his where he works, and he tests everything on the body with meters. So, and you can get everything down to green. Green is good. All my stuff in here, nothing is emitting anything. Everything is totally handled. So electrohealth.com. Sean is the owner. Seth is the main dude that we talk to these days. And you can talk to Sean, but you'd have to have a consultation or whatever. But anyway, that's the technology part. The rest of this is getting more connected to your inner realm. That changes the outside. You can feel something's going in the wrong direction, in a direction that seems bad or whatever. And the next thing you know, you release, you clear, and it shifts. Not because you wanted it to shift, that doesn't work. You can't do it for a reason. You do it for your integrity. You do it for the cleansing of the self, the correctness for you. You know, you are meant to work a certain way on this in this world, and everything out there is here to help us shift into the higher frequency of kindness, of peacefulness, of harmony. That's what it's here for. It's not here to hurt us. And we also chose that, by the way, to help. This is our schoolyard, right?
Mhm. Yeah, it's a really difficult but great time to be alive right now, and we signed up for it. So
Yes, we did.
yeah.
This time they have a new way. We've probably all helped each other before. Maybe last time Michelle and I were listening to you
Mm-hmm.
somehow. Maybe
Yeah.
you were in the tribe. I don't know. I don't know how time doesn't necessarily go like we think. That's a
Mm-hmm.
made up thing. But yeah, oh, this has been really great. I've really
Yeah.
enjoyed it.
I know. I'm glad that you have all that information. And, I do believe some people are definitely more sensitive to it. So I didn't want to like knock that, there isn't a
Oh,
sensitivity or
sure.
that you could totally, just say, oh, it doesn't bother me. Because I do notice when it bothers me if I stay in front of the computer, in the beginning when I wasn't well, my 3 to 5 hours was my limit. Now I can be at the computer all day, but after about 7, 8 hours, I feel it. So I can last longer being around all of this than I used to.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, there are certain practices that I do in my classes that we're learning how to expand and increase. You actually can learn how to turn up your frequency. But again, just thinking about it, talking about it, that isn't it. You can't just say, oh, one day, oh, I'll feel better. For me to
Mhm,
leave the house, I actually have to wear gear over me that
mhm,
looks like a sheet that is metal. It
mhm.
looks like cotton. It's mixed with cotton. It's from Switzerland. And again, I got that from Electra Health because they have everything for your Electra Health.
When I first met you, gosh, yeah, I mean, I can
I
see a
lived in a
huge
tent.
difference. I know you did. I remember when we first met, like you look way healthier and yeah, you're like a different person for sure.
I am. And
Yeah.
the body is really changing, and I can feel my
Mm,
strength coming. And taking zinc has been one heck of a ride. I'll tell you, it's been, ugh, I can only take a tiny little, teensy little pinhead. And then it takes me 3 days before I can take the next one. But it's making a huge difference
mhm,
all. So if any of you are afraid to take the zinc, I can't take a pill. I can't take one supplement. I've got to titrate it for it to work for me. One of the things you can do is, this is my left shoulder. You might be seeing uh, the left over here because I'm a mirrored with
mhm,
Zoom it mirrors you. So let's say this is the left shoulder. It's right under the bra strap. You can take, and this doesn't hurt anybody or anything, take a little zinc or whatever it is that you would like to get used to, and put it like with a little piece of tape under here. They have that breathable, permeable tape that's for sensitive skin, or just stick it in your left bra, or hold it when you on your. This is my left again. So, but I think this is. Does this look like your left when you're looking at me, Michelle?
mhm,
Yeah.
mhm.
So just hold it for a minute, close to your chest like this, and then just put it down and see how you feel. it's a really great way to build your confidence and connect with your body. So,
And I'm going to share a link to the video we did maybe 2 years ago, where you go through all of this, and so that people who are
I do? Okay, I forgot
Yeah,
about that.
yeah, we did like a video with me, you, and I think Josephine, where you talked about how you do your supplements that way. And
Oh, that's right. That's right.
yeah,
Very good.
and I explained that to my clients. So I'll put a link to that video so people can watch it if they're interested.
Okay, great. That's
Because
great.
I've learned a lot from you, which helps me, you know, with my other clients that are sensitive.
Well, I've been working with people, you know, a lot of years, 35 plus years. I wasn't officially working with people back then, but even earlier than that, but I was always, I'm here as a guide. So, um, it's, you know, the guidance is really about, for me, is helping you identify within yourself, your own truth, your own light, your own magic, your own beauty, your own wealth. You have this wealth inside of you, this profound, um, infinite vastness. It's all there for you. It's literally waiting for you. We just gotta, we want to remove like the layers, which is what you're also doing with the food, right? You're removing, you're dropping things out, and that will then also happen here. But you might find that you want someone to work with at this level, to your conscious awareness to the forefront. So you have these tools to move smoothly through life, to allow the body to navigate in a way that you can trust yourself, and that God energy, the cosmic energy, the divine, your and angels, whatever it is, your spirit guides, however you define that, that you can access it at every moment by a simple decision. And that's that taking responsibility. And taking responsibility takes courage. It takes courageousness to be able to say, I'm going to do this, come hell or high water. And then there you are. That commitment is so fabulous for you. It plants you firmly in the ground.
So what I'm going to do, because your freebie is not ready just yet, is I'm going to probably post this today, but come back in maybe a week, if you're watching this video, and look for an updated link to Angela's freebie.
I can give you the inner wealth tools, which is not a freebie, which we kind of talked about today, but you may be interested in that too. And it really helps you transform through your own inner work. And I give you audios and guide sheets. It's really fun. Actually, Michelle, you have it. And you've had your own benefits from it, I'm supposing, from what you said.
Yeah.
Anything you want to say about it?
Well, you know, I think what you did too is you gave, like, for people, like the quick way through it, the step-by-step way.
That's fearless abundance. That's a different.
That's the other one. Okay.
Yeah, that's the core online course. This
Right.
is a PDF you can just download.
Yes. So and then there's three things. So you've got your course, and then you've got your PDF, and then you'll have your freebie.
And the freebie is, I can tell you what it's called. If you want things to be easy, do this. 7 little words to practice freedom. And at the very bottom, it says, shift out of stuck stuff super fast. It's really, really cute. I would flash it up here, but I don't think I sent it to you.
Should I send it? Don't think I don't have that yet.
I could, you know what, I could just pop it right in if you want to. I don't know if you want to or not. Let's see what happens here. Give me a second to pop it in. Here it is. It's going to be in Telegram, so you can simply share your screen.
Okay.
This will be the freebie. There it is.
Okay. Oops.
And I worked on it all day yesterday. I thought it was almost done, and then nothing got saved. So
Oh, this is pretty. You are so artistic.
thank you.
I'm just trying to figure out how I can download
Did you
it.
share your screen? Oh, just hit the thingy button. And
Yeah, let me.
you have the inner wealth tools that you could share if you want. You know, we'll just put the link in.
Yeah, I'll just share this one.
It's really cute. It's
Here
literally
we
7
go.
little words that make everything easier. There it is.
Yeah.
So fun, so cute. It's coming. I wanted it to be done for today, but sometimes technical stuff happens.
Yep.
All
So
right.
I'll drop this link in there when this is finished.
Yeah. Thanks. I need to put our last session up in my thing. I've just been so busy writing and creating these programs and stuff that I really haven't been doing anything on YouTube, and I need to get back on there.
Yeah, thank you for meeting with me today because I know that you've been busy and we've been wanting to do this, and I'm going to be busy the next weekend or two. So,
So also Happy New Year, because the real solar New Year is actually tomorrow. Everything that we're letting go of shifts out tomorrow, the January 22nd. It happens every year. We have a Gregorian calendar, which is actually based on not the solar calendar. And this calendar is like includes well, the calendar I'm talking about now. The solar calendar is January 22nd through January 22nd every year. And the Hopi Indians, the Mayan calendar, the Chinese, there's quite a few calendars that match this because a lot of people in the beginning followed the sun. Now, also other people who have like February and March, I'm not sure if it's Korean, there's some other people, and I don't know what their reasonings are. I can't really speak about it, but Happy New Year. And that, by the way, is why most New Year resolutions don't stick. They do not stick in the beginning because the energy is not sticking. It's supposed to fall apart. So don't be discouraged. What you were doing in between is now allowing the new thing to come to light, because we're kicked in as of today into the dreaming of what's coming. So just allow that to happen. Thanks
well,
for having.
thank you. The year is definitely starting off way better than last few years. So,
Yeah. Well, let's see what happens.
for
Just
many of us, I hope.
keep staying in your kindness to yourself. That is massive. That's a huge part. Thanks.
Definitely. Well, thank you, everybody. Hit us, hit us. Don't hit us. Do a like and share the video, and then pop over to Angela's. I'll have the PDF and everything in there. So wait about a week and come back, and all her information will be in there. So thank you for watching us today.